All right. Well, I might as well start, and if other people come on in, that's fantastic. And I think Anka's here, and Allison. Fantastic. This is good. All right. Love it. I'm not sure if they're here or not. I just saw a thing from them. In any case, thank you for being here. And this is, really pertaining to questions and oh, Wilda, Kira's here. Fantastic. Good deal. All right. So, any case, the gathering is for questions, and we have this every other week. And sometimes I'll work with healing, um, and depending upon the number of the people and stuff like that. And there'll be really quick healings, but mostly questions. I love questions. And then there's a couple things I want to mention. I have my list here. This coming, well, first of all, every week is the Healing Circle, and we're starting to get a lot of people on it. And then every other week is the gathering, and that's for questions and also for some healing if it fits into the program. And then, oh, good, okay. And then I'm reading messages from all these things here and also my list. So I apologize for the delays in my speaking here. This June, the 22nd through the 25th, we have a workshop, and it's a 4-day workshop from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's about an hour and a half a day. And it does cost. If anyone needs assistance, talk to Lynn. Email her at admin@markehrlich.com. admin@markehrlich.com. And she knows what to do as far as helping people with financial assistance. It's an awesome workshop. It's about functional intuition, and I will be sharing with you as much as I can. It'll be awesome. Dan's here. Hey, good, Dan. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Good to see you, or see your name anyway. I can't see your face because of that, but I understand you can see us here on the Zoom link. And I'm so glad Lynn was able to set this up. So again, don't miss the Tuesday through Friday event coming up on the 22nd through the 25th of June on functional intuition. It's a dynamic workshop, and I'll work with you and help you with the experiential exercises, and you'll get a taste of intuition and my understanding of it and how to function with it in your life. So let me see here. Other than that, please, if you have an opportunity, set up an appointment with me. I will help you from the depth of my heart and give you everything that I can in helping you to feel better emotionally, physically, biologically, neurologically, whatever, skeletal, whatever. And that's what I do in my life. So let me see here. Other than that, on the website, if you would like to, please do I call it a gifting or supporting, and it's on all the pages. Please do, contribute to that if you can. And let me see here. In Phoenix, I'll be coming up this June 17th to 19th, which is a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Thursday and Saturday are totally booked, and I have some openings on a Friday if anyone's interested. Please do take advantage of seeing me if you live in the Phoenix area. And I'll be going to Tucson on the, when is it? On July 30th through August 2nd. And I'll be doing a workshop there. I'll be doing a healing circle there. That'll be announced as soon as I get Lynn the information. And if you're interested, contact me, and I'll give you the contact number of the person who will set up for an appointment if you're interested in going there or doing the workshop there. And also people that are having financial difficulties, they can contact that person and they'll give them a really good break. Other than that, there's no healing circle on the 22nd of June. And I don't know of anything else to say. So please, are there any questions or anything that I can possibly answer for people? Or talk about Diane, anything, please. Anything that you can think of. And
well, I'm gonna think of something right now.
okay.
Not right now.
All right, either pertaining to healing or asking me personally. I'm very open with my life, either that or working with intuition or whatever. And please feel free to share. Hey, Patty. Patty's here on the Facebook page. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And unfortunately, I can't see anything. I'm going to try to adjust my screen a little bit here and see what we can come up with. If I can expand this a little. Come on, Lord. Help me out here. 11 comments. Wow. Okay. Let me see here. Please, any questions on intuition or healing or about me? I'd be more than happy. Hey, Dan, I need to download Zoom app to my phone for video, and that's fine. I'm just glad you're here. I appreciate it. And if there's anything, please type it out. Lynn's putting up all the information on the Facebook page. So, feel free to ask anything on the Facebook. And Connie, please, is there anything that you would like to ask or know about? I can try to answer. Please feel free.
I do actually.
I love it.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautifully.
Okay, I have some issues around this, so it's kind of vulnerable for me to even ask, but
Now understand though, I won't work with in depth with a lot of emotional stuff online. I keep that to
Right.
Private sessions.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask personally.
Okay.
I just would like to hear what you have to say about empathic abilities. Sometimes they're more of a hindrance than a help. And I have a feeling there's a, I don't know, a more progressed way to look at it. Even though, I know about shielding and all those things, it doesn't seem to make a difference for me. And so I think that that's part of my life plan, and I've learned a lot, but
Cool.
it doesn't always work out well. It's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah. I won't ever shield myself, ever. And one second, let's wait for this other person to come on. Indra's here. Oh my God, that's great. One second, she's connecting here. Yeah, I don't. Hey, Indra, how you doing?
Hello, Mark.
It's so good to see you here. So good. If you want, in the bottom left-hand corner should be a where you can do if you want to show yourself, and that's fine. And if not, that's fine. And I'm just really glad you're here. Thank you so much. Do you hear me, hon?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
My camera's not working right now, though.
Oh, no. All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Yeah, working with the empath, I don't ever bother to shield myself. I think it's a totally unnecessary thing, because when you're being an empath, you're hearing and perceiving something from within. And we've been taught that we need to shield ourselves. That's someone else's thing. So everyone since then has been, going through the, I refer to it in my life, in my experience, I refer to it as unnecessary emotional stuff that we take on because we want to, in some sense, impress uh, with others that, we feel their discomforts, we feel their pains. The true empath, in my understanding, and you have this too, the true empath has the ability to, um, how do I phrase this? Impersonal and objective. Then there's a greater input, what we're able to be shown and told from within ourselves. When I don't shield myself, I have nothing to be afraid of, because I know my what you refer to as a higher self is sharing with me of what's emanating from another person in of their consciousness, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I don't have to worry about getting the cooties from someone else, basically. And that's just the way my life is. And I've been practicing this for, I guess, maybe about 47 years now. I've had that experience of this. Initially, when I first started out in working with healing, I worked at a Bonanza restaurant. And every single day, my teacher would say, "All right, get to work, Brother Mark." And I would go to work every single day. I take the bus there, and I get off the bus, and it was in Fort Worth, and I would walk in, and these people would say, "Hey, Ehrlichs is here, Ehrlichs is here," and there may be about 20 people that worked every shift. And so Ehrlichs is here. So they'd bring someone that was sick to me, and they want to watch, and they would applaud, and say, "Yeah, go, go," like that. And, I would come home every single day, either with someone else's black eye that I would take on, or I'd come home with someone else's bellyache, or someone else's, migraines or sicknesses or whatever. And every single time I came home, my teacher would look at me and he'd say, "What the hell happened to you, Brother Mark?" And I tell him this great story. But after a while, I found my life force leaving me. I was getting sicker. And he'd look at me every single time after he said, "What the hell happened to you?" Then he'd say, "When you going to learn, Brother Mark? When you going to learn?" And then one day I was so sick that I couldn't even, I had no enthusiasm to go to work. And he says, "Get the hell out of here or go to work." And so I had to. He was my teacher. And so I got on the bus and I said, "Okay, God, I'm never going to do this again. I don't want you to, do anything with healing anymore. And I want you to take this thing away from me." And so I had my mind made up that I was never going to work with healing again because I couldn't handle being so sick. And as I got in, let me turn off this darn thing here for Facebook, and Lynn will type out questions if there's anything from anyone. All right, there we go. And so, in any case, there was, as soon as I walked in the door, I hung up my jacket, and all these people once again say, "Hey, Ehrlichs is here, Ehrlichs is here." And they were literally carrying this one elderly lady. And she had this massive, massive migraine. And I looked at her and I just felt so bad for her. And so I said, "Sit her down, sit her down." And so they did. And I put my hands on her head, And I was praying within myself, okay, God, let this work, let the magic work, all the wonders and everything else. And so, as I was doing it, I realized, oh my God, I'm going to get this migraine and I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. And then I thought to myself, okay, if this was really God doing all of these things, then it's not me. So I pictured God getting this massive migraine. Literally, it's true. And I just pictured God's head pounding and pounding and holding his head and everything else with his hands. And I say, you have it, God, you get the migraine. And I kept chanting, you get the migraine, God. I was chanting inside of myself. And after maybe about a half a minute or a minute, I knew something was done and I took my hands away. And I was coming home every day for 3 months, getting sicker from working with people. And it was like a setup for me. And every day my teacher would say, when are you going to learn, Brother Mark? When are you going to learn? Get back to work. And so I took my hands away and I didn't have a migraine. And ever since then, I realized it was never me in the first place. So I had nothing to worry about. And I had glanced at books back then that said, oh, you got to ask people's permission to, work with someone or whatever. Bogus. It's not wrong to do good because we're naturally thinking about people anyway. And so, to wish someone to feel better or to pray for them inside of ourselves to feel better, there's nothing incorrect about that. And we don't have to take on those things. And as we don't waste our time protecting ourselves and recognizing that we're perceiving this through the information that they're sharing with us, and we're meeting them halfway in our morphic fields, the fields that emanate from them and the fields that emanate for us, they're meeting halfway and we're getting a perception. And it's just a normal thing. We do it anyway in life. So why be sick, I figured? Why take on someone else's stuff? Why get bent out of shape? Why do I have to have a nap after I work with someone? Why do I have to ring bells or chant or to my Lama Rama Gama guy? It's whatever, I want the easy way. And I want the clean way and I want the clear way. I want the most direct way to be able to help people to feel better. And that's what I do. That's what I do. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. And don't worry about getting cooties. Just don't even worry about that. It's not necessary. That's a superstition. Totally. And sometimes, though, I remember in Chicago, I learned this. Someone was standing in front of me and they were venting about their life and stuff like that. And they just came up to me out of the blue. And I was in another world, talking about other things. And here they are right in front of me and start venting and venting and venting about themselves. And I looked at them and I said, you're rippling my morphic fields. And they were kind of stunned, shocked or whatever. And they didn't know what to say. And so I just walked away. But I don't bother taking anything personal, at least most of the time in my life. Yeah. Good question. That's an awesome question. And you're very much an empath. And the empath is to perceive from within. That's what the M means, the empath. And you're perceiving the information. And you have it, and you have so much opportunity to realize what they're talking about through pictures that people are expressing. And that's how we relate through people's words. The words form pictures, or else we're not able to relate to them. And so what you're doing is picturing what people are expressing to you. We all do that to varying degrees. And that's what I do too, when I'm working with someone, most often, but that's how I identify with people.
Mhm.
I think that's awesome. Any more questions about that, hon?
Not right now. Thank you.
All right. All right, good. Christina, my dear, any questions or anything you'd like to ask me?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Or anything you'd like to say or questions or anything?
Good, good. Sorry I was late. I think the only thing that is coming to me at this point in time is I remember you saying, and I think it was in one of the gatherings, where sometimes you just got to get empty, to be fulfilled, I guess, in that spirituality or that divinity within. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's just a different experience going on right now. I feel like a lot of learned behaviors that we
Precisely.
accumulate over the years
Yes,
are
exactly.
breaking pattern, and
Yeah,
it's just very, the sense I get from that is a depression. So
I
it's
understand. I think the depression is good though.
okay.
And because that's a downtime. We don't know that. We get depressed, but that's a downtime. Excuse me, I'm going hoarse at times. And when we're downed, that's really the opportunity that's given to us to go within ourselves, to integrate of everything that we were up with in life. Whenever we have an experience of feeling elevated in life, feeling good, then something most often happens to crash us. Well, those times are, as I've always expressed since the old days, that those times are made for us to integrate within ourselves. Then we can go on to being elevated again, or feeling good, because we're integrating and we no longer have to re-experience a lot of that. But what we do is we take it as a crash and see it as depression. So here you are going way up, then all of a sudden, everything's going fantastic. Then something happens, or someone says something, or you're doing something that wrecks everything. Those times are handed to us on a golden platter to integrate. And if we can keep that in mind, then all the other superfluous conversation of the emotions have to refine their place. And we don't know what to do then until we're more used to it. But if we can become quiet, like we were talking about, if we can become quiet and recognize an integration is happening, then the other stuff doesn't bother us as gravely or as deeply. Graves are deep, but still, it's an opportunity to observe ourselves.
Right.
And then we find, instead of this big crash of going way up and getting really high and then all of a sudden crashing, then we start to even out, like a smooth flow. And things get really easy for us because we're not taking it personal, which I think is awesome. And I strive for this too. There's times that, I get bent out of shape too about stuff. And I have to stop myself either after 5 minutes or right away or after a whole day. I have to stop myself. What am I doing? And I look at myself objectively.
Yeah, it's not getting caught up in the emotion of it.
Right. Because
Lesson was already there. It's just a matter of, like you said, getting quiet and observing what
Then-
it's telling me.
Exactly. And then we're finding out what's really real, or what we imagined from our past experiences of the stories we've lived in our life. And every day we're filled with stories. We're filled with judgments. We're filled with admiring someone. We're filled with just all kinds of dilemmas, dramas, and traumas of situations. We're filled with the stories of our imaginations. All day, every day. There's not one day, I guarantee, that we're not filled with, you know, these things, with all these stories. So the idea is to, what I do, or what I'm learning to do in my life for the past many, many years, is to take a look at a situation, and if I imagine something about this person that or whatever, I'll stop myself and I'll say it's not the end of the story. Or it's I want to see what more there is that's going to be happening or transpiring from this. I want to see where this leads to, or if I imagined what they were saying that they didn't say. And that happens real easily on emails and texts and stuff like that every day, you know, because there's no nuance, there's no expression. So we think someone's saying something else or expressing it in a different way. You know, that's quite common too. Another story, you know, that we're making up in our minds because we've had past experience, or we read things, or we experienced, you know, whatever, or we've heard other people talking. So we're identifying with these things. That's what our life is based upon, the identifications, versus being objectively observant. And as we learn to be objectively observant, that's when we're going through less dilemmas and dramas or traumas in our life. And we get to see the truth of things. If there was a truth to it, which there usually is. Does that make sense, Christina?
It totally makes sense. Yes, it totally makes sense. And you know, and it's, I find those questions coming up automatically. Like I know for me, I have to find that time to get quiet more often, but it is really kind of weird how objectively these questions pop up in my head, and I'm like, oh, where did that come from? You
Interesting.
know? So
Yeah.
I'm observing that and it's catching my attention. So that's switching me from not becoming emotional and focusing more on the, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What is this about? Sit back and see
Yes.
what's happening,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and be
Yes.
quiet.
Yes.
Be quiet, because I did learn, you know, like sometimes I tend to open my mouth too much and then it causes more of the drama, you know?
I hear you. I hear you. You know, our words, they carry pictures, or else we wouldn't be able to identify.
Right.
And so what we're doing is we're absorbing the words, the meaning behind the words that we're putting life to. And so we have to, you know, we have the ability and the propensity to be conscious of ourselves, of what we're projecting and what other people are projecting to us. And in reality, what's happening is they're telling us a story of their life, regardless of whatever the situation or story they're saying. They're still telling us a story of their life, the way they grew up and what they were taught. And we can see it through the pictures of what they're expressing, even if it's about someone else or a situation or whatever. Always, always. That's awesome.
It's been interesting.
Yes. Diane, anything, my dear? Anything?
Yes, I see that when I see things, and it may be too personal, but sometimes I get the intuition, the feeling that people are thinking things, but I think lately it's been that they've been thinking negative things about me. And I think that I've taken that on myself, where years ago I learned what you explained about not taking on other people's pain. I had my own experience with that.
Good.
And I learned to let it go and not take it on myself.
Yeah.
And then I must have lost that along the way somewhere, because now I'm taking on people's negativity
You don't lose any,
Okay.
it's not possible to lose anything. We put it aside.
Oh, okay. I haven't been tapping
And-
into it lately. Okay.
And we put it aside and it's never lost. And what happens if you were to go back to it, you would find that it's more mature in their capability versus living in the past, which we don't fit into anymore. We can fit into the potential future, but not the past. What we do as a human race, unfortunately, we try to relate to the past to keep it going versus projecting ourselves into the potential future. And in that potential future is the maturity of, say, our gifts, our abilities, if that makes sense.
I get that totally because
Okay,
I'm an artist and I do pottery. And if I take a break from creating and I go back, I'm on a totally different level in my
Totally.
creativity.
always.
And
It's not
so-
possible to live in the past. We wouldn't fit into it. Our
Yeah, but-
consciousness does not fit into the past. It fits into the potential future, though. So there's a maturity that happens. So we don't lose anything. It's just put aside until you remember, bring the members back. You're remembering.
Okay.
Good,
I'm
Good.
working on remembering
good.
some current
Good.
things that are going on and
Awesome.
trying to be creative at the same time.
Okay. All right, my dear. Awesome.
Thank you.
Let me see here. There's some people here that I want to try. Indra, please. Hi. Anything you would like to share or ask? Please.
No, Mark, thank you. I'm just wanted to have this experience of being with you and
Awesome.
energy.
Yes. And hopefully we'll meet someday.
That would
Hopefully.
be wonderful.
That would be lovely. What part of the country do you live in, hon?
I'm in New York State right now.
Oh, God. You're on the other side of the world.
Sure am.
I didn't know people can get there from here. Someday, hopefully, I'll get up to New York and do some teaching or whatever.
Definitely.
I would love that. That'd be lovely, and I'll get to meet you. And Mariko asked, Mariko's in Japan. I love it. A spiritual teacher said that we humans are from heaven. We don't remember what we did during our past lives. Why? And what if we remember what we did during our past lives? You know, if we remembered what we did during our past lives, we wouldn't be able to live. We wouldn't be able to function. And we wouldn't be able to, you know, be anything because we would be so engrossed in the memories and they would overpower us. That's my perception. And so a spiritual teacher said that we are humans from heaven. It depends what he calls heaven. This may sound crazy to you. I actually have a memory and an experience from what people call heaven, when beings were not even formed in consciousness yet, and we were coming into the earth to take on life, to be a part of life, and even pre-consciousness. It was so guttural back then in comparison. There was no such thing as free will or anything else. It had to be developed. And so some people came in as trees or animals or whatever as these beings came in. And some people came in at latching onto, or some beings came in latching onto in their simple consciousness. I mean, it was a simple consciousness, less consciousness than a child back then, because the soul wasn't formed back then. And the soul forms with experience. And so then, you know, these beings, as they came in, and latched on to whatever form of life they were going to participate in, or what they were setting themselves up to participate in. Uh, some came into the guttural humanoid or Neanderthal, I don't know what it was back then. And then there was an evolution that began to happen. And thus here we are. And it's through the soul, which carries the experience of life, that we develop our consciousness and our evolution and into the enlightenment. And another aspect of that is, I feel, and my experience is that we are here on this earth. We've developed into coming into the enlightenment, which is a blending of both earth and heaven. And we become aware, we become conscious, and we're still evolving into that. And there's a whole lot of evolution to go still, to truly know ourselves. I hope that in some sense made sense to people. And does that make sense, Indra? All right. She might have-
Yes, yes,
Oh,
no, I'm here. I just was
Okay.
finding my microphone.
Okay, hon. All right, good.
Very much it does.
All right, good. And at least that's, the world according to Gartmark. And I like to keep it that way. So, and does that make sense, Connie and
Yes.
Diane?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Good. All right. So that's my answer, Mariko. And we don't remember what we did. I already answered that part. And what if we did remember our past lives? And so we're going to get our soul, according to our life situation in any given moment. We have the capability of remembering small instances. You'll see that you won't remember necessarily, or maybe some will. You won't remember what the atmosphere was like that you were breathing in, or what kind of conditions you might have had with the condition that you remember, and or what your atmosphere around you was, or the housing that you had, or the skins that you wore. Sometimes we'll get glimpses of these. We will, if our soul deems it necessary for our experience right now. And that's my perception of things. There's a lot more to it, but I'll keep that short. So, Christina, please, you have a question?
I just always find your stories and experiences fascinating. There's always something new I learn about you, Mark. It's just
Me too.
fascinating. Yeah.
I'm always being blown away, and that's the way it is. Sometimes I'll, what was it? God, I wish I had that. Where is that thing? Let me see if I have it here. I should. I was just told a word the other day, and I was waking up in the morning after about 2 hours of sleep, typical, and I was having a conversation with someone on the other side, and they're explaining to me the word Zodius, and so I remembered it when I woke up, and I looked it up, and there was actually a word called Zodius, and and they were explaining to me of what I understood, but I didn't know when I was conscious. And so and it was something I remembered from the old Nordic days or prior. And I think it was Nordic. But in any case, and it meant, seer of the future of things. And I got blown. So they're always throwing this stuff at me, not every day, but quite often
Right.
in my so-called dream time, but it's I'm barely sleeping. But I like to go to La La Land where I get to meet things and people and stuff. And so,
I'm not quite there yet.
thank God.
Yeah, I knock out and that's it. I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, everyone has their own path. Everyone's unique. Everyone is special. Everyone is gifted.
Mhm.
You know, to varying degrees according to our needs now, of what we're here to experience now. And then, you know, we've been here hundreds of thousands of times, and we're going to be here hundreds of thousands of times more, according to the soul's needs of what it takes for us to become into that, or to come into that state of enlightenment, the illumination within ourselves. And you know, the soul is going to present to us what we're here each time in order to evolve. There's, in my understanding, in my experience, there's no such thing as a new soul. I'm not denying what others are saying. I'm just saying through my understanding, my experience, there's no such thing as a new soul. If we were a new soul, we'd be like a chimpanzee that wouldn't be able to, at first when they're born, know, and for many years after, be able to know how to even use a spoon or a fork with finesse. You know, we wouldn't have the agility. We wouldn't, you know, have, you know, the ability to use the vernacular, you know, or whatever. It'd take an act of Congress in order to teach them one thing in life or several things in life, versus living and growing up with it. Our consciousness would not be able to handle it if we were in that guttural, archaic world of, you know,
We wouldn't be evolved. We wouldn't be
it'd be-
evolved.
yeah, it'd be a very limited evolution. Sure, animals are evolving, people are evolving, plants are evolving, minerals, all kinds of things. Everything's evolving. Even the angelics are evolving to varying degrees. They're no longer just, you know, without the ability to have free will. They have some form of free will, but we have the full expression of it if we learn to utilize it. And we're in charge of the angels for them to come forth to serve us, to help us, to guide us, direct us. Everything is evolving. Even animals, they're evolving. Everything. So, and there is an animal heaven, you know, for different, everyone. You all fit into their own, in my perspective of things. World according to Mark again. But let me see here if there's any other questions here. So good question, Mariko. Thank you for asking that. And Gina, can you help with weight loss? You know, years ago, I gave a class on it, and several of the people, and I didn't really know how to give a class on it, but several of the people told me from the workshop that they learned, you know, and it takes a session in order for me to express to you, because everyone is just so unique and individual. And I'd have to be able to, if I can, I have to be able to get a sight of what you're talking about pertaining to what developed you into the weight gain. And sometimes I can, though. And that would be a personal session, Gina. And I apologize if I can't help you right now. But situations and sometimes create that. Situations of our lives, and also situations of the biological creates that. Who knows, it might be a thyroid, it might be, you know, other glands or organs in the body that create it too. So it's not always our fault. And so I always tell people, don't go to the fault thing. So in any case, that's my immediate answer for that. And I apologize for not being able to answer more, but it's very individualized. Aria, hey Aria, good to see you here. Good to see you. And I think you're in Oklahoma, if I'm correct, or somewhere like that, or Kansas, or something like that. At least you were a few years ago. Hi, Mark. Tell us about your days. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Write it out, Aria, please. what specifically do you want to know? The order, I'll give you a brief. I was on the verge of death. I went into the order, and I just got a whole different perspective of life. It started within a day, and I started seeing things or understanding things, or and then there was another time. I think it was the first day in that I met a being that shared with me about healing, which I didn't think was possible. And so then I think it was about 6 months later that I started trying out the healing to see if it was really real. And I saw that it was, and I've been playing with it since and learning about it since, and recognizing there's more and more and more, just like with any gift. We all have it. We all have the ability to varying degrees according to our needs. And we all have gifts. So help me God. And there's thousands and thousands of types of gifts. And just like there's hundreds, if not more, types of healing. So you can't compare one person with anyone else, or you can't compare yourself with someone else. And so we all have it. We all have the ability to intuit. And I mean, I know that a long time ago in our histories, thousands and thousands of years ago, we developed the ability first from a sense organ within us. I can't remember if it was the pituitary, it was the sense organ, where we used to, because of the atmosphere was so violated by debris from volcanic action, from the earth forming and all this other stuff, changing and stuff, where the skull plates were, we have the suture lines in them because they used to be separate. And the skull would be opened and the pituitary would be huge, and that would be our sense organ. And so over the many millions and millions of years, it closed up. And when we had eyes, they weren't even functional. They were just little tiny beads in our head almost. But as the light became more exposed, our eyes became more exposed as well. And the skull plates, I think there's 5 or 7 of them, they started closing. And that's why we have the suture lines in there. In a newborn, they're really open. But they have a different consciousness. It's a purity of a simple consciousness. And so as, that's how they sense back in through the pituitary. That was, in my understanding, insight, what I saw was that the pituitary was a sense organ, almost like a bat in some sense. And then it just closed and closed and closed, and our eyes became wider, wider, wider. And then we came thousands and thousands of years, maybe about 5,000-10,000 years ago, we became aware of color. At first, black was the color, and then it came into a red. And if you go back to the old text, the Gitas, or the I forgot the name of them all, the oldest of all the old books, you'll never see color mentioned except for black. And it wasn't until maybe about 5,000 years ago that red came in, and then blue, and then other colors started coming in. So the evolution, happened. I forgot what I was originally talking about. In any case, I get too involved. I hope that almost answers something. I don't know. And let's see here, questions. I was talking about the order. And so I started experiencing in the order this other world, and I didn't know if it was hypnosis, a massive hypnosis for everyone in the order, or what. And all these magics happening all around me in my life, and wonders. And so I went AWOL from the order for a couple months, and I saw that it was still happening outside in the world with things and working with the healing and stuff. And came back again for several years and went AWOL again, thinking, oh my God, is this really real? What's happening? And it kept on showing me, and I went back again, so, and whatever. So that's my order experience. And a lot of the order, well, the order itself is dead. It went into another form, and half the people went with it. Other half said, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I was one of those that wasn't a part of that. And but many of the people are still together in like a camaraderie or a friendship, or some of us don't like each other, and that's just fine. And another story, but or some don't want anything to do with anything, and so, but there is like a communication still with a lot of us, and there were a few thousand of us. And a lot of us still talk. So in any case, all right, that's my experience, Ari. I hope that almost answers the almost question. Dan, how does a novice accurately differentiate between intuition, moving beyond doubting? It may be simply imagination or wishful thinking. There's an easier way, I think, Dan. I think I love this question too. Intuition means inner teaching. And so here we have an opportunity to distinguish, is it an inner teaching from us? And we'll get it as a sight. And we'll get it at a time that either we become quiet, or we're made quiet for that moment, and it'll be a sight. But the more quiet you are in life, the more we learn to love ourselves inside, we find ourselves getting it greater and greater. And everyone has the ability, and everyone does to some extent, love themselves, and it's waiting for us. It's literally waiting for us to come to it. That living super subconscious light intelligence within, it carries intelligence. And so we have the opportunity to learn to become quiet in life and observing things versus reacting. And then when we're not reacting, we're not being subjective or subject to something, we're being objective. That's when we get to see more often the difference between the intuitive, which means inner teaching, or the thoughts that we're projecting or other people are projecting. I hope that makes sense, Dan. Anyone have a question about that? I can try to answer. We have a couple minutes or so. All right. In any case, Arya, that is precisely the story I would wish to hear. Oh, awesome. And I remember it from the old days. Yes. What was it, 25 years ago? I was teaching in Chicago, doing the circles and stuff and teaching. Cool. And, but back then you didn't tell us as deeply. Dude, thank you. Love it. All right. Well, let me see here. Anyone have any other comments or questions I can try to answer, please, before we boogie? Please don't forget the go to the website, and if you find it within your heart to give a gifting or supporting, it's on a lot of the pages there. And also the it talks about the workshops coming up, all the events coming up, and we're doing a lot. And please take advantage of them. And if you need financial assistance, either in the appointments let me know. I'm here for you, and I'll help you out as much as I can. And then if you need financial assistance with the workshops, let Lynn know. And her email, and she wrote it above in the comments, Lynn's email address is admin@markehrlich.com. Just admin@markehrlich. She knows what to do. She loves to give a discount. So take advantage of these things. And God bless you. And if there's no other questions, please, anything real brief.
I
Christina?
have, I'm hoping you can actually do just a blessing with Steve. He's been working mega hours and a lot going on for him right now. So
Okay. All right.
thank you.
My pleasure. You got it. You got it. Give Steve
Thank
my
you.
love.
I
Yeah.
will. I will.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, Steve.
He doesn't want to show his face.
That's fine. That's
Oh
fine.
wait, he's coming. He's coming.
All right. Don't have too much time. Yeah.
All right, for Mark, I will show my face.
Good to see you, my
Well,
friend.
How you
Well,
doing?
thank you. Very well. Very busy, which is good.
Yeah, me
great.
too. I'm working like 7 days a week.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, tell that to her.
Your break is coming soon.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I think you guys are in the same sleep schedule.
All right.
Sleep? Who needs
Um,
sleep? Thanks again, Mark.
All right. Anyone else for anything real quick? Real briefly? Please, Connie?
I feel blessed to be here. That's all.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my honor, my total pleasure. And God hasn't forgotten us, believe me. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
It's just allowing us to act out as much as we want or to realize. And
Thank you for that. Yeah.
all right. Indra, anything? Diane? Anyone? Anyone on Facebook?
Very much, Mark.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Indra. God love you. All right, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And see you next Tuesday for the Healing Circle every week. Don't forget that. Yeah. And I'll work with as many people as I can in the circle. And all right. Enjoy, have fun, and blessings.
Blessings to you too. Thank you, Mark.
Mhm.